So, just got a super important email from the Tunisian Tourism Board, and I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. Before the pandemic, my life really pretty much revolved around trying to get sponsorships, /traveling, /working a little bit to then be able to afford to travel. Fast forward then to the pandemic, to 2020, which obviously affected everybody in this world. In layman's terms, the pandemic completely derailed this channel. Not only the sponsorships that I had to go to places, but we're just talking about that momentum, that coveted momentum that every YouTuber/influencer needs in order to grow their brand, completely decimated. And truth be told, it's been an uphill battle ever since to sort of grow back the following and get that momentum and grow the channel. Also, I kind of need to eat, so I've needed to reignite my real estate career. Yada, yada, yada. I don't want to bore you with too much of that, but I'm super excited that this gentleman who I reached out to back before the pandemic, this gentleman reached out, we've agreed to it. I'm going to Tunisia. I am super excited and grateful for this opportunity because I've been trying to find a way to not only get back on the travel lifestyle, which makes me so happy, but also just bring you guys some fresh content and reignite this channel because this is truly what I love doing. I mean, real estate's great, that's cool, but it doesn't make me happy. This makes me happy. So I am super excited. And I know you didn't click on this episode to hear me ramble about my life and the pandemic and the past. So without further ado, let's go to Tunisia. Back on a flight that has a purpose. I can't help but think about how normal this used to be for me. How for many years of my life, this was just part of a routine that was ironically consistent in its uncertainty. Where to next? Who knows? Who cares? I got a phone that shoots in 4K, and I'm gonna go create a story. That was my mantra in a pre-corona world that honestly seems like a lifetime ago. So Tunisia. What should you know? Let's talk basics here, okay? For the geographically challenged, it's the northernmost country in Africa, sandwiched between the very large and somewhat unstable nations of Algeria and Libya. Now this isn't the Africa of safaris and elephants, it's the Maghreb region, so that means a lot drier with deep Arabic roots. A rich history highlighted by Rome's early nemesis Carthage, and the flavors of the Berbers and the Phoenicians. Speaking of flavors, they love themselves some harissa, a somewhat spicy pepper paste you may know of. Also, for some reason, salads are big here, so good news for the calorie conscious. The capital city of Tunis is a busy metropolis home to about 3 million people, or roughly a quarter of the country's population. Here, you might be interested in strolling through the Ouled Medina, to check out the shops and partake in the lovely art of haggling, which I still have yet to master and admittedly have overpaid for too much shit in my life. Funny enough, this Medina/souk whatever is a lot more chill than most I've been to in the Middle East. People really aren't hounding you down to buy their very best made in China, yet advertised as local kitschy merch. It's honestly a refreshing change of pace. So with that in mind, I've been tasked, of course, by my mom to retrieve some spices.
Let me get 50 grams of ras al khanout. It's like a all-purpose. I put it on tons of shit. I actually don't. This is just to look cool. I actually don't use it at all. Look at that. So what we have here is 100 grams of cinnamon sticks. Actually 200 grams of cinnamon sticks. Somebody left me with 200 grams of cinnamon sticks. 100 grams of weed. Satar. And a little ras al khanout. How much? 55. Okay. Good thing I'm wealthy in Tunisia, but nowhere else. Appreciate it. Barakalovi.
Aside from the Medina, you have a pretty special little neighborhood perched high up overlooking the Mediterranean. Well, technically the Gulf of Tunis, but Mediterranean sounds so much more inviting, doesn't it? Sidi Bou Said is Tunis's little slice of a Greek island. I know some people like to say it's like Tunisia's Santorini, but that's just not true. Santorini is incomparable, so that's just typical influencer embellishment, okay? However, this is definitely a worthwhile spot. You got your views, you got your blues, you got your whites. A few Riyadh-style boutique hotels are hidden amongst the uneven cobblestone roads that lend themselves to a perfect afternoon stroll for families and couples alike. All of whom you can catch at Café des Délices, probably the go-to spot in Sidi Bou. It feels good to be back, to be a guest documenting my experiences in a foreign land again. Don't call it a comeback, it's just a re-emergence from a pathless period. The island of Djerba, Tunisia's largest and nestled just off its southern coast. An island known for its all-inclusive resorts and influx of Europeans on holidays. This resort will be base camp for the next few days, but what makes this trip different from others I've been on is that I am not alone. No, I am just one YouTuber/influencer surrounded by arguably way cooler influencers, all crammed together in a grueling multi-day itinerary.
This is the story of 6 strangers
picked to visit Tunisia
and have their lives taped
to find out what happens when influencers stop influencing
and start getting real. The real world. Tunisia! Alright, so this is the official Tunisia crew. Alright, we're gonna go around, we're gonna say hi, we're gonna introduce ourselves.
Hi, I'm Sammy Sweetheart.
Sweetheart!
I'm Mohammed. I'm the best photographer in the world.
Yeah.
So,
With the big Which head though? Which head?
I'm Rosie and I'm the mum of the group. I keep them all in check. I keep them in check.
Hi guys, I'm Anastasia and I'm a Malika, which means princess and queen in Arabic. My name is Vera and I'm the wandering cat. It's time for me to now disappear. Enchantée.
So now that you've met the Van Gang, the first order of influencingness is a visit to Djerba Explore Park. Basically a 2-for-1 museum and reptile park. Just stay with me here, okay? The park is interesting, if albeit an extremely random combo. Look, I'm from Miami and we get gators in our backyard canals all the time, so the highlight here for me is the Lala Hadria Museum, which offers a large sample platter of Tunisia's rich history. From Muradite pottery to ancient metallurgy and traditional Maghreb rugs and garments, the museum is worth a glance. The reptiles, not so much. But you know what I am all for? A trip to the hood. Djerbahood, that is, otherwise known as El Harashkira, Arabic for the small neighborhood. About a decade ago, a project commenced to allow hundreds of street artists to create an artistic walk through the streets of this village via the use of mural paintings. The village of Riyadh was chosen due to its quaint and traditional backdrop. What ensued, and what was intended of course, was an influx of tourists to an otherwise random village. An exchange that was more than welcomed by local shops and their merchants. Djerbahood is now a living, breathing organism that feeds off of the dedication that local and international artists alike have to preserve their urban canvas splattered across these serpentine roads. And I've got nothing but respect for that kind of vision. This may or may not interest you to know, but Tunisia has played an integral role in Star Wars history. In fact, it's a role that goes all the way back to the original 1977 classic, A New Hope. Here outside the village of Penny Kadech is a clear example of why location scouts of yesteryear felt that Tunisia created the perfect backdrop for undoubtedly the most important hero and villain origin story in sci-fi film history. And it's easy to see how this Berber-style clay dome architecture lent itself ideally to George Lucas's vision of a galaxy far, far away. Scattered throughout much of central and southern Tunisia are countless locations from the franchise's films. But for the sake of time, and not boring you too much with this, we've decided to highlight just a couple. First up on this long road trip, and most importantly, Ksar, Ouled, Debbab. But you probably recognize it by the childhood planet and home of the Skywalkers, Tatooine.
You know, all right, think of it this way. George Lucas, he's a young guy, unproven director. He's like, find me a location for Luke. Like, where did Luke grow up? Go to Tunisia in the 1970s. Get lost, because we're in the middle of fucking nowhere, right? And they're like, oh, look, this works out. Like, my thing is, location scouts have to be probably the most underrated people in the entire industry, because, I mean, seriously, how do you come across this? Like, it's just perfect for Tatooine. Hats off to them, honestly. Like, it was hard enough for our driver. He's known this shit's been here for 50 years, and it was hard enough for him to find it. So props to the location scouts. This is pretty damn cool.
By the way, you could also visit Sidi Idris, which served more of a binary role as half hotel for the crew, half fantastic location for B-roll. Here you can, I don't know, geek out on more Star Wars stuff, like sort of accurate character wall art and random stormtroopers laying around. Actually, kind of the perfect place to complain about Kathleen Kennedy and wonder what in the hell happened to one of the greatest franchises in history. Seriously, aside from Rogue One, this whole IP has been straight trash since the mouse bought it. Look, sorry, it's the truth. So back to Tatooine, and I got something to say about this whole journey to a random desert kind of far away.
So here's the thing. It's here, it's cool, it's a location, right? Obviously there's some history. I'm sure a lot of Star Wars geeks would just love coming in here and having their greatest prepubescent Luke Skywalker fantasy. But there's not really much to it. I mean, it is kind of out in the middle of nowhere. It's a good photo op. It's certainly very, Instagram friendly and all that. You're probably not going to come out here, right? I mean, maybe if you have a guide, you'll come. If not, well, why would you? Maybe there's like some Ahsoka blue-haired chick around here somewhere. Go get some blue milk or something.
In a nearby village, something special is happening. Unplanned, organic, and stumbled upon. A type of commotion you can't duplicate. The sensory overload of pounding drums and incessant hypnotic bagpipes become an immersive journey into a world far from my own. Speakers blaring while a man undoubtedly balances the entire weight of the carnival on his head. Bedlam, pandemonium, I welcome you. know about you, but spending upwards of 6 hours a day in a van traversing countless desert villages is a bit taxing. So the gang and I decide, the hell with it. Let's stretch our legs and go find some snacks at a local bodega in the middle of this random town. Because going off the beaten path is usually when you make the best memories. Side note, apologies for the shit audio. Rosie's mic that I'm holding had crapped out by this point.
There's literally chaos. Like, we don't even know. It's like we don't even know what we're doing. We're just walking around. We're looking for chips.
You have those. I just want a bit of salt.
These are just salt if anyone wants to be basic. We're currently in the local supermarket trying to get some snacks. We have a 2-hour road trip.
Alright, what are we looking for? We got pocket Ringos. I guess that's like some kind of, right? Some kind of, yeah, we have Max chips with like 3 X's, so you know they're good. Ah, juices for the win.
No,
oh my god, look at that. Fucking party pooper, man. We have, just for me, Florida gum. And what do we got here? Show me. Lovely lady, show the camera.
We've got salt crisp.
Ooh.
For nausea. Spending so much time in the van. We have pizza flavor. For Anastasia. Chocolate milk for the babies of the group.
That'd be me. Sam makes me feel so tall. Fun fact, I'm not tall. Fun fact. God, this became a vlog so fast. Oh my god.
I'm so happy, I'm like wondering.
Damn, 12 Dina, that's crazy.
Thank you guys so much.
Bambino. Shukran. Barakalovi. Barakallah. He's probably like this dumb American.
We get this steak for free. She said you can take it.
No, we got snacks now. This is about the most authentic thing we've done so far. And I love it. Watch out, we don't want you to get ran over.
I suppose it's time to wrap this up. As we all sit back and have a laugh on a windy Tunisian beach, I can't help thinking about the why. Why do we do what we do?
The thing I like it about the travel, I shooting the moment, I shooting the culture.
I mean, I've been passionate about tourism and travel ever since I was young.
My priorities were very, very different at an early stage in my life when I wanted to build a family and raise my children. My children are now a lot older, they're teenagers.
When you shoot them with a camera, and they all love it, that they want to tell you everything about their story, their life.
Now that I'm a content creator and a travel photographer, I love traveling with new people, I love connecting with people, I love experiencing new cultures, I love seeing the world.
I always said that in my life, if I have children and I have a family, I will never forget who I am. So that's really important to me, to kind of go off and have these experiences for myself, for me to grow as a person and for me to enjoy my life separately to my roles of a wife and a mother.
How their life, how it look like, because it's really amazing. Honestly, I love that.
Okay. Did I do it too quick?
You can keep going.
No, that's
You don't want to say anything else?
Life is a series of decisions that lead you to a host of moments. The journey you seek, the trail you blaze are a fusion of your desired outcomes and the impasses along the way. For me, the headwinds of real life over the last few years allowed me to understand how much I yearn for travel, how I'm not truly happy or complete without it. Did I need to wind up in Tunisia with 5 strangers to understand that? As life would have it, yes. Ironically, my takeaway from Tunisia isn't what I saw of it. It was the mosaic of tiny epiphanous moments it lent itself host to.